Okay. Okay, first thing I want to say right off the bat about the Dhalsim stuff. God, it's so hard to manually do stuff in YouTube controls. Look how fucking far this Yoga Flame goes. Like, this is at least twice as far as Yoga Flame goes in 5 or 4. This is like half screen Yoga Flame, if not further. You could just throw this out in neutral, assuming it's still safe. That was the first thing that caught my eye. This is going so much further than Flame normally goes. I'll mostly be talking about Dhalsim stuff, because obviously that was my boy. And holy shit. You know, people complain a lot about Yoga Gale in Street Fighter V. They're like, Gale is fucking bullshit. Gale is cheap. There's no way Gale makes it into SF6. Well, you're right. Gale didn't make it into SF6. Instead, he now has Air Yoga Fire, which is probably even better. Because Gale is a short-range move, and now he can fire projectiles from the air. That's so cheap. That is so cheap. They did show Gale, though? I don't think they did. I think it's all air fireball. It is worth mentioning, if I just go back a little bit. What you do notice here is this is EX air fireball, and then he actually cancels it. It's a very quick cancel. Stand, heavy kick, drive, much, crouch, medium kick, EX. That's flame. That's flame you're talking about. Gale is the air one. Flame is the ground one. Gale is gone, replaced with air fireball. But what he's doing here is actually EX air fireball cancelled into float, as you can see here, for like 1 frame, and then float cancelled into teleport. So I think this works very similarly to how it works in Street Fighter V. Like, Dhalsim can't do EX air Gale into teleport, but he can do EX Gale float cancel teleport. So that, I think the same thing's happening here. And he's still got the stupid Street Fighter V jump fierce. The classic Yoga Sniper is still not back. So maybe he'll have an instant overhead jump jab. This is Street Fighter V jump fierce right here. The classic back medium. The god of anti-airs. Hopefully this is still the cross-up denier, as I like to call it. And then this is really interesting. So this is actually Yoga Blast. This is a special that doesn't exist in Street Fighter V. It's the upwards flame that is an anti-air. But what I'm confused about is the fact that every time he does Yoga Blast in the trailers, he says Yoga Flame. He doesn't say Yoga Blast, he says Yoga Flame. So I'm starting to think maybe they've kind of combined Flame and Blast into one special, where you get different versions depending on which button press you use. Like, for example, I think it might be the case that, like, if you pressed half circle back heavy punch, maybe he angles it upwards for an anti-air. Maybe half circle back medium punch is the regular grounded Yoga Flame. Because as it is right now, the 3 different versions of Yoga Flame in Street Fighter V were never very well defined. They are a bit different, and they do have individual uses, but like medium and light particularly weren't that well differentiated. Most of the time you wanted to use medium, occasionally light from counter hit lights, but so this seems like a logical step. I don't know if this is what they've done, but they might have made it so that Blast is like a variant of Flame instead of its own special. Obviously everyone loves Ken. Do you hear that, folks? Do you hear that, folks? Do you hear... If you listen carefully... If you listened carefully when you were watching this part of the trailer, you would have heard the sound of 1 million players screaming out in agony when they saw this specific clip. I couldn't believe what I was seeing here. People used to ask me if I thought that Dhalsim would be able to use Drive Rush to convert from full screen in Street Fighter 6, and I kept saying no. I said no, there's no way that they'll let him convert with full screen Drive Rush off long range normals. There's no way they'll do that. They'll probably make it so that he can only Drive Rush cancel his special cancelable short normals. How wrong I was. The only thing to be aware of here, so he's doing what I'm assuming is stand heavy kick, drive rush cancel. I'm assuming this is crouch medium punch, EX flame into the level 1 super. The only thing I would say to maybe temper your expectations of this combo is that it looks to me like Chun-Li is actually getting counter hit here, like the sort of crush counter hits that exist in this game. Because if you notice, Chun starts spinning. She's in like a spin state after the stand heavy kick connects. She's not in a normal hit stun animation, she's like in a spin state. So I think she's actually getting like punish countered into the into a full combo here. But it is still fucking cheap regardless. Phils, thanks for the raid. GG's earlier. Hope you had a good stream. But even still, I didn't think there was any chance that Dhalsim would be able to drive rush cancel his long range normals. But that's crazy. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And obviously this is the clip that everyone's currently screeching about. It's quite expensive. You're doing a drive rush cancel and an EX move, so that is 4 or 5 bars. But even still, I didn't expect this. It's fine. Come on. Come on, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about Dhalsim's level 3. Tell me this shit isn't fucking sick looking. Look, I'm a One Piece fan, okay? And in my opinion, one of the coolest moments in One Piece is the first time Luffy uses jet gatling against Lucci in, what's it called? Enies lobby. I love me just like a punch rush with the stretchy limbs. So this is exactly the kind of super that I'm excited to see. Oh, also, one thing I don't think people pointed out, it's just there for a split second. Let me see if I can capture the right frame. Hold on. There we go. This one. I know this looks silly. I think this frame here is the critical art version of the level 3. We don't see the full level 3 from Dhalsim in like one uninterrupted clip. But I'm assuming this is the critical art version. And this is the final hit of Yogaaa Shangri-La, his Ultra 2 from Street Fighter 4. The spinning on the head thing. So I'm assuming like the regular version of the critical art, he just slaps the shit out of you with the jet gatling. But maybe in the critical art version, he gets the extra hit at the end with the Yogaaa Shangri-La, which I think would be cool. Because I always like Yogaaa Shangri-La. I thought it was a very cool super. Sit down and shut up. They got a new voice for Ken, because Ruben Langdon's busy talking about UFOs all day. So this is interesting. It happens right at the start of the clip. Let me go back a few frames. People were saying that Dhalsim's EX Fireball was the arcing one, because you see that in one of the trailers. But that doesn't seem to be the case. This is an EX Fireball at the start of this clip, and it's a horizontal one. So it seems like Dhalsim might have both sets of Fireballs in his kit. He might have arcing and regular. Because he does an arcing EX Fireball at one point, and he does a regular EX Fireball. So that would be even crazier. If he has access to both, that's kind of crazy. This is an interesting normal. This is, I'm assuming this is crouch medium punch. This is not a normal that exists in Street Fighter 5. I can't remember what his... Was his crouch medium punch like this in Street Fighter 4? It might have been. He used to have down back medium punch, which was the short one, which he uses in combos. Was this how his crouch medium punch was in Street Fighter 4? It's been so long I've actually forgotten, but this is definitely not a Street Fighter 5 normal. So it does that twice. This is really cool, by the way. Another cosmetic feature I love is that every character has a unique animation for perfect parries. So Dhalsim's perfect parry, he hits the yoga pose, he gets like the light around his head, and you can even see he's got like 10 glowing arms coming out of him, like a Buddha thing going on. Yeah, it's Netero. He's about to hit him with the zero hand. That's really sick. So this looks to me like Street Fighter V Crouch Fierce. This is a very... The short range Crouch Fierce that's special cancelable. This is very Street Fighter V. So he's doing Crouch Fierce into Flame, I think. Yeah, that's just a standard Dhalsim BMB. I will say, you've raised a good point. So, this does look a lot like his Crouch Fierce from Street Fighter V, but I would say that's probably about twice as long as his Crouch Fierce, or Down Back Fierce from Street Fighter V. So the fact that is special cancelable looks kind of crazy. That is definitely going a lot further than his Down Back Fierce from 5. My boy's got big boy range, even for Dhalsim standards. Yeah, so at the start, again, I'm sorry to have to keep pausing and continuing, but there's so much editing in these clips that it's hard to like combine it all efficiently. But you can see at the start of this clip, there's an arcing fireball coming down, but it's not multi-hit. This is a single hit fireball, I think, which really does suggest that Dhalsim has horizontal and arcing at the same time. He doesn't have to choose one or the other. Or was that 2 hits? That might have been 2 hits. So he does crouch, medium punch. I think this is stand short. This looks a lot like stand light kick. But again, probably quite a bit longer than his stand light kick from 5. All of his normals just look better. They just look longer. Oh, there it was. It was there. That's what I was looking for. So he gets knocked down here. Dhalsim gets up. And then he wakes up with Yoga Fire, non-EX Yoga Fire. Non-EX Yoga Fire, but it goes straight up. So yeah, he definitely has access to both types of fireball here. That's crazy. And an air fireball as well. DJ Sunny B, thanks for the raid. Appreciate that. Yeah, look at the... Jesus Christ, I didn't realize that until Reichman pointed it out. Look at the range on his down back fierce in this game. Look at that. Bro, this normal is special cancelable. This is a special cancelable confirm into flame. And this is definitely going about twice as far as his down back fierce does in 5. That is wild. I hadn't even noticed that until now. Let me play some footsies. Back medium kick flame into fireball. Unfortunately Honda wins, so we don't get to see some cool stuff. Have we seen the slides yet? I don't think so. I don't remember seeing any slides. This? Oh, I knew I was missing something. This is why it's so hard to go over all the Dhalsim stuff, because the clips are so spread across the whole internet. So of course we've got the greatest taunt Dhalsim has ever had. This taunt alone is a good reason for me to come back to Dhalsim. The full screen taunt. Godlike. Stand medium punch, stand fierce. This is his classic stand fierce. This is the stand fierce that caused a million Super Turbo players to spike their controllers into the floor. In Street Fighter V, he has the slightly different stand fierce where he kind of like folds back on himself and then puts his hands through his own legs. But this is the classic stand fierce. Yoga Fire. He's got float as well. Yet another tool. Like, what's crazy about this version of Dhalsim, as far as I can tell, is that he has everything. He seems to have literally every normal and special from both 4 and 5, or almost all of them. He's got his V skills, he's got his Street Fighter 4 horizontal fireballs, he's got everything. It's crazy. So there's the EX up fireball, and it bounces back. So this is like V skill 2. This is V skill 2 stuff. He's got access to float and V skill 2 tools all the time in 6. No longer do you have to choose a V skill. You've got both of them at the same time. Might be EX only, but even still. This is cursed, by the way. This is yet another tool that they brought back. This wasn't in 5 either. So, Dhalsim has historically had 2 different versions of drill. He's had the head first drill and the foot first drill in most of the older games. But he doesn't have the head first drill in 5. That's back as well. The Yoga Mummy. It's hard to say if he even has the classic drills. I don't think the regular drills actually get shown in any of the footage. They only show off the Yoga Mummy. If I remember correctly, the main reason to use the Mummy was that it had some uses in juggles. Like, I think it has juggle points in some stuff in 4, so you could, like, reset with it, where you couldn't with regular drill. But it was never very clear to me. But yeah, I think the Yoga Mummy used to be able to use in certain juggles, where you couldn't use regular drill. But it was quite niche. Look how fast that is, by the way. Look how few frames there are on the startup of the anti-air blast. I feel like this thing comes out like instantly. That's crazy. So this, like I say, this blast wasn't in 5, but it was in 4. And for those of you who don't know, in Street Fighter 4, Yoga Blast was extremely good. The main reason was that if you landed, I think it was EX Yoga Blast as an anti-air in 4, which was very easy to do. That was like a very strong anti-air. It was one of the only moves in the entire game that gave you a true hard knockdown on air connect. If you anti-aired with EX Blast in 4, you got all that time of the character falling and hitting the ground, and then they were stuck on the ground for an extra like 2 seconds. So Dhalsim could not only anti-air you, but then he could set up some kind of fucked up fireball teleport mix-up afterwards. That was a really powerful tool he had in 4, but wasn't in 5, so that might be back as well. We don't see the EX version of Blast, I think. But if that is a hard knockdown like it was in 4, good luck defending the situation afterwards. So here we see his level 2, I think this is. I believe his level 2 is now his Street Fighter 5 super, where you can charge up the Yoga Sunburst. The problem here is that, much like in the reveal trailer for Dhalsim in Street Fighter 5, they only show the full charge version, and generally the full charge version is the one that you use the least. There's almost no good opportunities to land the full charge version except for after a stun. So it's hard to say how this super will actually connect off like Yoga Flame or anything. I'm sure you can combo into it without doing the silly charge, but it's kind of a gimmick. They just like showing off the full charge.
Why we have Edmond Honda.
They're doing their best to pull me back into Dhalsim. I wasn't that excited, but I gotta admit, he looks sick in this game.
Starting from Dhalsim.
Damn, that walk speed? Are you kidding me? Bro, why is his walk speed like 5 times as fast as in 5? My man is tiptoeing around the screen.
And he has a lot of a special move. He has.
Bro, he's got like. Is that a meterless 2-hit fireball? He's got like a slow 2-hit fireball meterless? Am I seeing that right?
And there's
oh my god.
Yogaaa Arch, which,
alright.
You must be familiar from
He can charge his fireball for multiple hits.
5. And there's new attack.
Air fireball, ground fireball, charged fireball.
Now he can
Has he got regular drills?
use Yoga Fire in
The question for me is, has he got regular drills? Because we've only ever seen him do the Yoga Mummy.
Flying up in the air.
Also, slides is
So
another
he
thing I
can
want to see.
change his position
His mediums.
so that he can
What?
take advantage in
Was
the
that
game.
stand medium kick? That was
And
fucking fast.
Also, there's Yoga
Alright, I'm just going to ignore the
Inferno.
advert. I'm just going to ignore it. Because last time I tried to reload to get rid of the advert,
Actually, it
I got
is
fucked up.
attack which you can use on the ground as well. And also there's the wave-like
Supers.
attack like this.
So he's got different angles on the level 1. Okay.
So there are various Yoga Fires and Yoga Inferno.
Okay, I was ignoring it was the right move.
And now let's look at Edmond Honda.
Bro, they gave him
From
everything.
Street
They gave
Fighter
Dhalsim
5,
literally
there was
everything.
attack called Katayari.
He's got a meterless 2-hit
And
horizontal
there is,
fireball.
So we also have that.
Why did they give him a chargeable 2-hit fireball?
So let's
He's got
look at
drill.
the situation with
I just saw it. He did a regular drill. He's got drills as well as the Yoga Mummy.
And now they're coming to the
Slide.
center.
Oh my god. They gave him everything. They actually gave him everything. He's literally got every single tool from 4 and 5 at the same time.
Now he's throwing
Ground teleport. That was down back medium
And by
kick.
using a good
I think
distance,
I saw there. Down back medium
try
kick.
to attack from the air.
Tried to drive rush. Didn't work.
Parried it.
Tried it again. Didn't work. Jesus Christ. I mean, look, it's entirely possible that Dhalsim fucking sucks in this game. We don't know how the meta's gonna turn out, but so far it looks like he's got everything.
Sorry, actually, it was a
They just gave him the whole farm. So take this with a big pinch of salt, but I am very surprised.
So these are familiar
Preemptive
characters
downplay?
for you, and the same
I'm
way
saying that
and
like
you
he
can
looks ridiculous,
enjoy the
but I have to
changing
assume that the
fighting
developers
style
know
as
what
well.
they're
So
doing.
what's next?
I have to assume these guys are not going to release Street Fighter 6 with day 1 top 1 Dhalsim. Because if they do you realize how bad that's going to be for the meta of the first season? Top 1 sim on day 1. You guys realize how bad that's going to look?
So this is what I want you to look at as well.
That's a PR disaster waiting to happen.